you! If you don't wear these pants before sunset, everything you think you know about your life.
Hey, you! The old woman's voice cut through the chaos of Balogun Market like a knife. Every head turned. Chukwuemeka Okafor stopped mid-stride, the most feared man in Lagos, the ghost who controlled governors, the shadow behind every major deal in the city. If you don't wear these pants before sunset, the market fell completely silent. You could hear fabric rustling in the breeze, a baby's cry in the distance, nothing else. Everything you think you know about your life is a lie. People burst into nervous laughter, but Chukwuemeka didn't laugh, because those words, those exact words, he'd heard them before, in a dream that haunted him for 30 years. The old woman pushed forward through the crowd. Her hands trembled, but her eyes burned with an intensity that made grown men step back. She held up a pair of old pants, torn, filthy, covered in dust and stains. The smell made people cover their noses. "Take 'em." Her voice dropped to a whisper only Chukwuemeka could hear. "Before they find out I'm still alive." Before they find out? Who were they? Chukwuemeka's bodyguards moved closer, hands sliding toward concealed weapons, but he raised one finger. Stop. Something about this woman made his skin crawl, not from disgust, from recognition, a recognition he couldn't explain. "Who are you?" he demanded. The old woman smiled, sad, knowing, terrified. "Wear the pants, Emeka. Then you'll remember everything they made you forget." She used his childhood name, the name buried in sealed government files, the name even his closest associates didn't know. The crowd pressed closer, phones appeared, recording, posting. The old woman suddenly grabbed his wrist. Her grip was surprisingly strong. "They're watching right now. Take the pants, pretend to laugh, throw them to your men, but make sure you get them back tonight." "Who's watching?" "The same people who killed your mother." She released his wrist and stumbled backward, fell. The crowd surged forward. Market women helped her up. Chukwuemeka stood frozen. His mother died in a car accident 30 years ago. That's what he'd been told. That's what the record said. That's what he'd always believed. But then he noticed something impossible. As the old woman was helped away, she turned back, made eye contact, and mouthed 3 words: "Check the lining." Then she disappeared into the crowd. What he found next changed everything. Chukwuemeka threw the pants to his head of security. "Burn them." The crowd laughed harder now. Videos went viral within minutes. "Mafia boss humiliates crazy beggar." "Lagos kingpin rejects gift from homeless woman." The headlines wrote themselves. But that night, alone in his penthouse, Chukwuemeka couldn't stop thinking about her eyes, about that name, Emeka, about the way she said, "They're watching." At 2 a.m., he called his security chief. "The pants, where are they?" "Sir, we disposed of." "I said, where are they?" Silence. We threw them in the industrial bins behind the compound. "Bring them to me now." "Boss, it's been 12 hours. The trucks." "I don't care if you have to search every landfill in Lagos. Find them." His voice carried a tone his men rarely heard. Fear. 3 hours later, the pants sat on his mahogany desk, still filthy, still torn, still reeking of poverty. But now they looked different. Now they looked important. Chukwuemeka put on surgical gloves, examined every inch. The stitching along the right leg caught his attention. Too deliberate, too careful. Someone had sewn a hidden compartment into the inner lining. His hands trembled as he carefully cut the threads. The old woman wasn't who she claimed to be. Inside the hidden pocket, he found a small cloth bundle, wrapped tight, protected from moisture. He unwrapped it slowly. A photograph fell onto his desk, faded, water-damaged at the edges, but clear enough. A young woman held a small boy, maybe 3 years old. They stood in front of a compound Chukwuemeka recognized immediately, the Festac townhouse where he'd lived as a child, before Mama Ngozi, before the wealth, before everything. The woman in the photograph was beautiful, smiling, full of life. The boy clutched a red toy car. Chukwuemeka's breath caught. He still had that car, in a box in his private vault, the only possession from his childhood he'd never been able to throw away. He flipped the photograph over. Written in faded ink, Amara and Emeka, March 15, 1994, the day before they came. The day before they came? Who came? But one detail didn't make sense. The photograph had been taken outside the Festac compound, but Chukwuemeka had no memory of living there. His earliest memory was Mama Ngozi's mansion in Victoria Island, expensive schools, private tutors, everything starting at age 4. Before that, nothing. A complete blank. Doctors called it childhood amnesia, normal memory loss from early development. But now, staring at this photograph, he wondered, what if it wasn't normal? What if someone had deliberately erased his past? Then he noticed something else in the cloth bundle. A small key, brass, old-fashioned, with a number engraved on it, 237B. And underneath the key, one more item, a hospital bracelet, infant-sized. The name read, Baby Boy Okafor, born April 3, 1991, mother Chidinma Okafor. Chukwuemeka sat down hard. Chidinma Okafor. That wasn't Mama Ngozi's name. Mama Ngozi's full name was Ngozi Adetola. She'd never married, never took another name. So who was Chidinma Okafor? His real mother? The photograph revealed a shocking secret. Chukwuemeka grabbed his phone, called his most trusted investigator, Adebayo Martins, a former police detective who'd solved cases the government wanted buried. I need you at my house, now. Boss, it's 5 a.m. Now. 30 minutes later, Adebayo sat across from him. Chukwuemeka spread the items on the desk, the photograph, the key, the hospital bracelet. Find out everything about Chidinma Okafor, born around 1970, died sometime before 1994. And find the woman in this photograph. Her name is Amara. Adebayo studied the items carefully. Boss, if you don't mind me asking, where did you get these? An old woman in Balogun Market. She knew my childhood name. She knew things nobody should know. You want me to find her too?
Yes, but be careful. She said people are watching. She mentioned they multiple times. She said they killed my mother. Adebayo's expression changed. Boss, I need to tell you something. What? When you hired me 5 years ago, you asked me to run a background check on yourself, standard security protocol. I found something odd. Chukwuemeka leaned forward. What did you find? Your official records start at age 4. Birth certificate, medical records, school enrollment, everything appears at once in 1995. But before that? Nothing. It's like you didn't exist until Mama Ngozi registered you. Why didn't you tell me? I tried. You said Mama Ngozi explained it. Early childhood in the village, records lost in a fire. You seemed satisfied with that answer. Chukwuemeka's jaw tightened. He'd accepted that story because he'd trusted Mama Ngozi completely. She'd raised him, educated him, loved him, or so he thought. Find the truth, Chukwuemeka said quietly. Whatever it takes, whatever it costs, I need to know who I really am. What happened 3 days later stunned everyone. Adebayo returned with a folder. His hands were shaking. Boss, you need to sit down. Just tell me. Chidinma Okafor was your biological mother. She died on March 16, 1994. Official cause of death, car accident on 3rd Mainland Bridge. Official cause? The accident report has inconsistencies. Witnesses reported a second vehicle forcing her car off the road, but those witness statements disappeared from the final police report.
The investigating officer retired immediately after the accident and moved to London with a sudden fortune. The truth was far worse than he imagined. Chukwuemeka's voice dropped to a whisper. It wasn't an accident. It gets worse. After your mother died, you were placed in the care of her sister, Amara Nwosu. There are photographs of you two together, medical records, neighbors who remember her raising you for several months. What happened to her? In August 1994, Child Protective Services received an anonymous report, claimed Amara was mentally unstable, unfit to care for a child, dangerous. Within a week, you were removed from her custody. The case was fast-tracked, no proper investigation, no appeal process. You were immediately placed with Mama Ngozi through a private adoption that bypassed normal procedures. Who filed the report? The documents are sealed, but I traced the lawyer who handled the adoption. He's dead now, heart attack in 2010. But before he died, he told his wife something interesting. What? He said the Okafor adoption haunted him. He said a powerful woman paid him a fortune to make a child's past disappear completely. He said he helped destroy a mother's life and he could never forgive himself. Chukwuemeka stood up, walked to the window. Lagos sprawled beneath him, a city he controlled, a city built on lies. Where is Amara Nwosu now? Adebayo pulled out his phone, showed him a photograph. The old woman from the market, homeless, thin, aged beyond her years.
She's been living on the streets near Balogun Market for the past decade. Before that, she spent 20 years searching for you, filed hundreds of police reports, hired lawyers until her money ran out, lost her home, lost her health, lost everything except the hope of finding you. But the biggest secret was still hidden. There's one more thing, Adebayo said carefully. What? The key you found, number 237B, it belongs to a safety deposit box at First Bank headquarters. The box was registered in 1994 under your mother's name. It's never been opened. Chukwuemeka's heart pounded. Take me there, now. Boss, it's Sunday. The bank is... I own the bank. Take me there, now. An hour later, Chukwuemeka stood in the vault of First Bank Lagos. The manager trembled as he inserted the master key. Chukwuemeka added his key. The box opened. Inside sat a single envelope, yellowed with age, sealed with wax, his mother's name written across the front in elegant script. His hands shook as he broke the seal. Inside was a letter, dated March 15, 1994, the day before his mother died. He read it aloud. My dearest Emeka, if you're reading this, then I am gone, and I pray my sister Amara has kept you safe. I write this because I fear for my life. I have discovered something terrible, something powerful people will kill to protect. The man I worked for, the man I thought I could trust, is not who he claims to be. His business empire is built on blood, on trafficking, on the destruction of innocent families. I found documents, evidence, names, everything needed to bring him down. I made the mistake of telling someone I thought was a friend, Ngozi Adetola. I thought she would help me go to the authorities. Instead, she told him, now I am being followed, my phone is tapped, men watch my house. Ngozi came to me yesterday with an offer. She said if I give her custody of you, she'll protect you, she'll raise you with wealth and power, she'll erase your connection to me so you'll be safe from the people hunting me. I refused. You are my son, my life, my everything. But I know she won't stop. I know what's coming. So I'm hiding this letter, this key, these documents. Amara knows where to find them if something happens to me. Emeka, my beautiful boy, if you're reading this, you're probably grown now. You probably don't remember me. But know this, everything I did was to protect you. Trust Amara. She loves you as much as I do. And be careful of Ngozi Adetola. She may have raised you. She may have given you everything, but her hands are stained with my blood. The evidence is in box 237C, the next box over. Use it wisely. I love you forever. Your mother, Chidimma. The room spun. Chukwuemeka grabbed the wall for support. 237C, he whispered. Open it. The manager's hands fumbled with the keys. The box opened.
Inside were dozens of documents, photographs, financial records, names, dates, everything his mother had discovered. And at the top of the pile, a photograph that made Chukwuemeka's blood run cold. Mama Ngozi, 30 years younger, standing beside a man Chukwuemeka recognized, Senator Danjuma Okonkwo, the man who'd given Chukwuemeka his first major contract, the man who'd helped him build his empire, the man who'd been like a father to him, the man whose trafficking network Chukwuemeka's mother had been trying to expose. Then he noticed something that changed everything he thought he knew. In the background of the photograph was a young boy, maybe 4 years old, playing with a red toy car, the same car Chukwuemeka kept in his vault. Him. The photograph was dated August 1994, 1 week after his mother's death. Mama Ngozi and Senator Okonkwo had posed with him, like a family portrait, like they'd planned everything, like they were celebrating. Chukwuemeka's phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. A voice he'd never heard before spoke. Male, distorted, mechanical. You found the boxes. Smart boy. Your mother would be proud. Who is this? Someone who's been waiting 30 years for you to learn the truth. But here's the problem, Emeka. The same people who killed your mother are still in power, still watching. And now that you know, they know you know. Let them come. Oh, they will. But first, they'll take everything you love, starting with the old woman who gave you those pants. The line went dead. Chukwuemeka ran, called his security team while sprinting to his car. Find Amara Nwosu, now. Protective custody, armed detail. I don't care what it takes. But he was already too late. His phone buzzed. A news alert. Breaking. Elderly homeless woman found unconscious near Balogun Market, rushed to General Hospital in critical condition. No, 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 no. Chukwuemeka drove like a madman, ran red lights, nearly crashed twice. His security couldn't keep up. The General Hospital was chaos, as always. Overcrowded, understaffed, people lying on floors. He pushed through the crowd, found a nurse. Amara Nwosu, where is she? Sir, you can't just... He grabbed her shoulders. Where is she? The nurse pointed with trembling hands. Charity ward, corner bed, no privacy curtain. Chukwuemeka found her. Tubes, machines, an IV dripping slowly. He collapsed into the chair beside her bed, took her frail hand. Amara. Her voice was barely audible. You found the boxes? I found everything. The letter, the documents, the truth about my mother, about Mama Ngozi, about Senator Okonkwo. Everything. Tears rolled down Amara's weathered cheeks. I tried to tell you so many times, but they made sure I couldn't reach you. What happened today? Who hurt you? 2 men warned me to stop talking, pushed me. I fell, hit my head. Rage unlike anything Chukwuemeka had ever felt flooded through him. Tell me who they work for. The same man who killed your mother, Senator Okonkwo. He knows you found the evidence. He's scared. Good. He should be. Amara squeezed his hand with surprising strength. Emeka, listen carefully. The documents aren't enough. They've had 30 years to cover their tracks. You need a witness. Who? The driver. The one who forced your mother's car off the bridge. He's alive, living in Benin City, under protection. Okonkwo's protection. What's his name? Musa Tenko, former police officer. Okonkwo paid him 2 million naira, but Musa, he's sick now, cancer, dying. He told his priest he wanted to confess. The priest is my friend, he told me. The machines beeped faster. Amara's breathing became labored. Emeka, I don't have much time. Don't say that. I'm getting you the best doctors, the best treatment. Money is not... Money won't fix a broken heart, my child. I've been running for 30 years. I'm tired. Please, please don't leave me. I just found you. We have so much time to make up. Amara pulled something from under her pillow. Another photograph. This one showed 3 people. A man, a woman, a baby. Your parents, your real parents. Your father, Chukwuemeka Okafor, he died first. Car accident when you were 1. Your mother never recovered. She worked for Senator Okonkwo to provide for you. That's how she discovered his crimes. Tell me about them, please. I want to know everything. Your father, Chike, was an engineer. Brilliant, kind. He loved Nigerian music, played guitar. Your mother was a teacher. She sang to you every night, Yoruba lullabies. You loved jollof rice and fried plantain. You laughed at everything. You were the happiest baby. Fresh tears streamed down Chukwuemeka's face. I don't remember any of it. That's because they took your memories. Trauma, forced separation. Mama Ngozi, she kept you isolated, changed your environment, fed you new stories. Your mind blocked out the pain. Did she ever love me, even a little? Amara's expression softened. That's the tragedy, Emeka. I think, in her own twisted way, she did. She couldn't have children. She was desperate, lonely. When she met you, she fell in love. But her love was selfish, possessive. She wanted you so badly, she was willing to destroy everyone who stood in her way. How can I forgive that? You don't have to, but holding hate will only poison you. Your mother, Chidinma, she was full of love, not hate. Be like her, not like them. The machines started beeping erratically. Nurses rushed over. Sir, you need to step back. No. Amara gripped his hand tighter. Emeka, promise me something. Anything. Get justice for your mother. Expose them. Save the others. Others? Okonkwo's trafficking network. It's still running. Children stolen. Families destroyed. Just like yours. The evidence in the box. It has names, locations. Save them, Emeka. I promise. I swear on my mother's grave. And one more thing. What?
The pants. Keep them. Remember that wealth means nothing without humanity. I had nothing, but I had love. You have everything. Use it to become better than all of us. Her eyes began to close. Amara, please. It's okay, my child. I can rest now. You know the truth. That's all I ever wanted. I love you. I'm sorry I didn't say it sooner. Amara smiled. A peaceful smile. I always knew, my beautiful boy. I always knew. Those were her last words. The machines flatlined. The nurses tried to revive her. Chukwuemeka watched through tears as they pumped her chest, shocked her heart, tried everything, but Amara Nwosu was gone. She'd spent 30 years searching for her nephew and died less than a week after finally reaching him. Chukwuemeka collapsed to his knees, screamed, a sound of pure anguish that echoed through the charity ward. Security guards rushed in. Nurses backed away. Nobody dared touch him. The most powerful man in Lagos was broken, destroyed, alone. But somewhere in that pain, something else was growing. Something dangerous, something unstoppable. Justice. The funeral was unlike anything Lagos had ever witnessed. Chukwuemeka didn't hide, didn't delegate. He arranged everything personally. The most expensive casket money could buy. Imported flowers, a cathedral normally reserved for presidents. Every news channel covered it. Every social media platform exploded. But the real shock came during the eulogy. Chukwuemeka stood at the podium, faced cameras from every major outlet, and told the truth. All of it. How Mama Ngozi had conspired with Senator Okonkwo to murder his mother, how they'd stolen him, how they'd destroyed Amara's life, how they'd built empires on blood and stolen children, how the evidence sat in a safety deposit box waiting to be revealed. The crowd gasped. Cameras zoomed in. Reporters started typing furiously. Senator Okonkwo's security team tried to push through the crowd, but Chukwuemeka's men blocked them. I have documentation, financial records, photographs, names, dates, everything my mother died trying to expose, and I'm releasing it all, today, right now. He pulled out his phone, capped a button, uploaded files to every news organization simultaneously. 30 years of evidence, decades of crimes, all public, all undeniable. Senator Okonkwo tried to run. Police surrounded him before he reached his car. Not corrupt police, federal agents, special task force, the ones who couldn't be bought. Mama Ngozi had died 5 years ago, but her legacy died that day. Every institution she'd funded, every honor she'd received, every street named after her, all of it tainted now, all of it built on murder. But Chukwuemeka wasn't finished. He traveled to Benin City, found Musa Tanko, the driver who'd forced his mother off the bridge. The man was dying. Cancer had ravaged his body, but his mind was clear, and he was ready to talk. Chukwuemeka recorded everything, the confession, the details, the payment, the planning, how Senator Okonkwo had personally ordered the hit.
How Mama Ngozi had provided the timing, how they'd celebrated afterward. Musa cried through the entire confession. I was young, he sobbed. I needed money. I didn't know she had a child. I didn't know what they'd do to you. Chukwuemeka stared at the broken man. Every instinct screamed for revenge, for violence, for making him suffer the way his mother had suffered. But he heard Amara's voice. Be better than them. You'll die soon, Chukwuemeka said quietly. But before you do, you're going to help me save the others. Others? The children Okonkwo is still trafficking. You know the routes, the contacts, the safe houses. Tell me everything. And Musa did. Over the next 6 months, Chukwuemeka became someone new. Still powerful, still feared, but different. He used his criminal network to infiltrate Okonkwo's trafficking ring, found the children, the hidden locations, the corrupt officials protecting it all. He worked with federal agents, journalists, activists, people he would have destroyed a year ago. 47 children were recovered, reunited with their families, 16 traffickers arrested, 8 government officials exposed. Senator Okonkwo died in prison awaiting trial. Heart attack. Some said natural causes. Others whispered about Chukwuemeka's reach. The truth died with the senator, but his network died with him too. Chukwuemeka stood in his office months later,
The pants hung on the wall behind his desk, never cleaned, never repaired, priceless. Next to them hung the photographs, his mother, his father, Amara, baby Emeka with his red toy car, reminders, a knock on the door. Come in. Adebayo entered. Boss, there's a woman downstairs. She says you helped rescue her daughter 6 months ago. She wants to thank you personally. Send her up. 5 minutes later, a woman in her 40s stood in his office, nervous, humble. Mr. Okafor, I'm blessing Udo. You saved my daughter, Chioma, from that terrible place. Chukwuemeka gestured to a chair. Please sit. How is Chioma now? She's healing, slowly. The trauma. It's hard, but she's alive because of you. She's home because of you. I only did what should have been done 30 years ago. Blessing pulled something from her bag. A handmade bracelet. Simple, woven from colorful thread. Chioma made this for you. She said to tell you that broken things can be beautiful again. Chukwuemeka took the bracelet carefully, looked at it, really looked at it. The threads were uneven, the pattern imperfect, but the love in every knot was undeniable. Tell Chioma I'll treasure it. After Blessing left, Chukwuemeka sat alone, put the bracelet next to the photograph of Amara. His phone buzzed, a message from his assistant. 3 more families contacted us today. They think their missing children might be connected to Okonkwo's network. What should I tell them? Chukwuemeka typed back. Tell them we'll investigate. Tell them we don't stop until we find answers. Tell them nobody is forgotten. He walked to the window. Lagos sprawled beneath him, still corrupt, still broken, still dangerous, but different now, because one person had decided to change. That night, he wrote another letter.
Dear Amara, 6 months have passed. I still talk to you every day, still imagine what you'd say, still hear your voice telling me to be better. I kept my promise. Okonkwo is dead. His network is destroyed. The children are safe. But I've learned something you already knew. Saving 47 children doesn't bring back the one child you lost 30 years ago. Justice doesn't erase grief. Revenge doesn't heal wounds. Only love does that. So I'm building something new, a foundation in your name, for mothers who've lost children, for children who've lost mothers, for families torn apart by people like Okonkwo. I'm using everything I have, the money, the power, the connections, the fear, all of it. But this time, I'm using it the way you would have wanted, to protect instead of destroy, to heal instead of hurt, to remember instead of forget. I still keep the pants. People think I'm crazy, a billionaire with rags on his wall. But those rags taught me everything. That love doesn't need expensive packaging, that the most valuable gifts come from the most unexpected people, that sometimes the person everyone laughs at is the only one telling the truth. I miss you every day. I'm sorry I wasted the few days we had. I'm sorry I didn't wear the pants immediately. I'm sorry for so much, but I'm trying to make you proud. One child at a time, one family at a time, one act of humanity at a time. Thank you for never giving up on me. Thank you for the pants. Thank you for teaching me that wealth without humanity is just expensive poverty. I love you, Amara. Forever, your son, Emeka. He sealed the letter, put it in his safe, next to all the others, walked back to his window. Below, the city pulsed with life. Somewhere in that chaos, another child was missing, another mother was searching, another family was being destroyed. But tomorrow, Chukwuemeka would wake up and fight again, because that's what Amara had taught him. That's what his mother had died for. That's what the pants represented. A year later, a documentary aired, The Pants That Changed Lagos, how one beggar exposed a criminal empire.
It featured interviews with rescued children, their families, federal agents, and Chukwuemeka himself. In the final scene, he stood in his office, the pants visible behind him. The interviewer asked, "If you could go back to that day in Balogun Market, what would you do differently?" Chukwuemeka smiled sadly. "I would have fallen to my knees right there, in front of everyone. I would have begged her forgiveness. I would have taken those pants and worn them immediately. I would have listened to the woman who loved me enough to spend 30 years searching." What do you want people to learn from your story? Chukwuemeka looked directly at the camera. That the people we dismiss might be the only ones telling us the truth. That wealth and power mean nothing if you've lost your humanity. That it's never too late to change. And that sometimes the most valuable things in life come wrapped in the most humble packages. The documentary went viral. Millions of views, thousands of comments. People began looking at beggars differently, treating strangers with more kindness, questioning what they'd been told, searching for their own hidden truths. Chukwuemeka's foundation grew, expanded beyond Lagos, beyond Nigeria, across Africa. Hundreds of children found, hundreds of families reunited, dozens of trafficking networks destroyed. But every success felt incomplete without Amara there to see it. 5 years after her death, Chukwuemeka visited her grave. Fresh flowers, expensive headstone, her story engraved in marble. He sat on the grass, talked to her like she was still alive. "I met someone, Amara. Her name is Kemi. She runs a shelter for abused women. She's strong, brilliant, doesn't care about my money or my name. She reminds me of you, actually. I think you'd like her." Wind rustled through the trees, birds sang. Somewhere in the distance, children played. "I'm not the same person who humiliated you in that market. I'm not even the same person who cried at your funeral. I'm trying to be the person you always believed I could be." He pulled the red toy car from his pocket, the one from the photograph, the one he'd kept all these years, placed it on her grave. "I'm leaving this with you. I don't need it anymore. I have my memories now, the real ones, the ones they couldn't erase, the ones you helped me find." He stood up, wiped his eyes. "Thank you for the pants, Amara. They saved my life. They saved so many lives, and they'll keep saving lives as long as I'm alive to remember what they taught me." He walked away, didn't look back. Because Amara wasn't in that grave. She was in the foundation that bore her name, in the children who'd been rescued, in the families that had been reunited, in the man who'd learned that love doesn't measure wealth in money, but in sacrifice. The pants still hang in his office, dirty, torn, priceless. A reminder that sometimes the most powerful people need the poorest person to teach them how to be human again. And somewhere in Lagos, in a market filled with noise and chaos and life, people still tell the story about the day a poor old woman gave a mafia boss old pants, about the secret hidden inside that destroyed an empire, about the love that survived 30 years of separation, about the truth that set a broken man free. They tell the story to their children, who tell it to their children, who will tell it to theirs. Because some stories are too important to forget, some lessons are too valuable to ignore, and some love is too powerful to ever truly die.